Okay, so today I'm going to continue my little overtime segment of this series, and it's just going to be we're trying to save up 750 for the Yeti, and then at some point after that, I won't say immediately after, but I'll have to figure out when I can find the time. I'll try to actually get to rank 50 in a particular month, and I'll set some sort of permanent challenge for. I actually kind of like that, but because those are the seedlings that I always like, but that never come to fruition because they're too hard to protect or whatever. There's a card that I always liked that people said, oh, but it's garbage, it's garbage. It's good in theory, or we broke down like the mathematics that, oh, you're more likely to get a low cost card, so therefore it's not even really that good. But because this game has an insanely disproportionate amount of low cost cards, or I mean like very few high cost cards just in general, or just very few cards in general, period. But you know, Zombot 9000 is the only 9 cost card, so you're guaranteed to get it on the evolution curve. If like you increase the cost of an 8 cost, you know what you're gonna get, which is kind of stupid. Honestly, it shouldn't be that much of a short thing. When hurt, this gets +4. This is good for, yeah, like obviously Walnut. I always like guess, you know, oh, the guy holding a Walnut has got to be a Walnut card, Guardian card, the little, when I even bought it for 500 gems. I guess I just didn't look at that, but I just assumed it. The what's it called, like the magic mushroom or something, anti-magic mushroom. When revealed, the plans gets a -2. And yeah, I like this when all the new cards are the higher rarities. Zombies get deadly and strike through. I'm not a big fan of environments really, as much as I thought I might be. Okay, so we should get some. We don't seem to really get gems as an end of season reward anymore. Maybe only for getting to rank 20, which I don't really often do. Right, like I got 0 gems for that, but I get them for getting to like rank 10 or something. Yeah, I'm not in a rush to do that, but once we get that, that'll be pretty much it. And then I'll just try to, you know, I'll do what I should have done in Hearthstone, where I sort of came back and was like, oh, if I don't get to Wild Legend this month, I'll sort of delete my account, but I didn't really say it with conviction. And so I didn't really leave that as a format, but then I ended up doing it anyway. It was like a one chance only. And in this case, it would be my first time doing it. So like I'll have, let's say, what is this month? So August, let's say September. So September 1st, or wait a second. But the league starts now, so I don't fucking know how that works either. So I'm confused. It's like in the middle of the month. So it'll be like September 15th or whatever. So we have September 15th to October 15th. And if I don't get Legend between that period, right, once I get the Yeti guy, then I have to delete my account. And obviously, even if I do get to 50, I'll probably end the series and maybe not play this again for a long time or ever, just because that's how I am. But the other point is that I'll lift a lot of the other formats. So like I can only play as each hero once per episode, or until I lose once per episode. I won't do that. And I'll also be doing it more in the week. Like I'll have to find a way, like how I'm doing these chess sessions here and there whenever I have time. I honestly will have to do that. Because again, it's just a raw time. Even assume that I can do it right now. Like my collection's good enough, I'm good enough as a player, right, to get to rank 50. Even if that was true, right, it is mathematically, factually, objectively impossible for me to do it. Why? Because even if I won every single game I've ever played, I would never have gotten even close to rank 50 because, you know what I mean? Like, it's just not enough. The games take long enough, and I play such a short, casual amount of time, even for a fucking casual game. Wait, how did I get 11 new cards? Or some of them aren't new, obviously. They're just copies of stuff I already have. Let's see, who can get an upgrade here? I do like that little, I forget what it's even called now, the big huggy bear type looking thing that's like all tanky, and every time it takes damage, it gets buffed. Deal 5 damage to a zombie for 5. Wait, what the fuck? Oh, wow, that's one of the worst cards in the game. I mean, I already had it too, but... Okay, so Solar Flare gets cucked, not that I care, because... And again, what it'll turn into is... Maybe every time I lose a game, I can still rotate to another hero, but then I'll rotate back. Like, it doesn't mean I can't play them again. It just means I'll have to play for, you know, the longest amount of time I've ever played. Right? If I play one more game, it'll be the longest session I've ever had, because I don't think I've ever had an episode of this that's more than 2 to 3 hours, and even that was kind of rare. So here we have to consider what to get rid of. I do like it. It has tremendous potential. This thing honestly hasn't even been that good. It's more so window dressing, because I'm not really, I don't know, I'm not really buffing their health that much, but it could be very dangerous in certain decks. The mines have been very important for me. You definitely want 4 of every nut. I'm not going to question that. Those always come in handy. I do like Wall Knight, but at least in the iteration of him that I have, right? The point is that there are probably better versions of, you know, pushing this farther. And what happens is I even have Stars Floor. Not that I'm really like too big on that. I really can't decide. I mean, you could get rid of... Getting rid of a nut, though, is really counterproductive because that's what the whole fucking deck is about. Tactical Q. Like, this one's come together with actually some pretty interesting cards, whether they're the best cards or not. Like, I got this one that I really wanted, just all the stuff from packs, obviously, because I haven't crafted anything. So, what the fuck is going on? I might have crafted something by accident, but it's not something that I used, or... Like, when you go in the little achievement menu, but it's either something I didn't use or I already had, like, 4 copies of, so... But I should maybe keep a little better track. But like, it's easy to misclick on this fucking mobile screen. It's a tough decision because getting rid of one of the nuts seems like totally antithetical to what this deck is about. Right, the water chestnut has been good to me. I have no problem with it. There's some of these that are maybe just a little redundant to have, but I only have one of each, so... I guess I'll get rid of one water chestnut, but I... really don't like it because it's so important to have those out there. Like, that's the whole point, you know, that with the spine apple and stuff. Getting rid of the spine apple would be absolutely disgusting, stupid decision. This, again, it makes my life easy when it's something I already have, because then I know I don't really want it, right? Otherwise I would have already had them in there. Captain Combustible has been very good as well. Yeah, that's really what it'll come down to too. I'll get from like rank 1 to 40 with Captain Combustible, right? Just with like an aggro deck just to save time. There is a good principle I have like that in card games. What deck should you use to ladder from the lowest rank, like in this game, from rank 1 to rank 30 or something? You should use an aggro deck, not because, oh, aggro decks are better or because you like them, but because, again, whether you win or lose, it's going to go quick. So I don't want to sit there for an hour in a control matchup like in Hearthstone against a priest and be like, oh yeah, priest versus warrior, and we sit there for an hour and I end up losing, like, or even worse in chess, I sit there for an hour and draw, but you're going to sit there for an hour just to lose a game and just waste your time, or even if you win, it's going to take an ungodly amount of time, right? So you should always do aggro at the low level to the mid level, then you can go to mid range, then you can go to control in the end, assuming that they're even better like that. Not saying that you couldn't get to legend just with, or like rank 50 here, just with an aggro deck all the way. You probably could, right, like in a lot of games, but even if you assume at the very highest level control tends to be the best, which there is a certain overlap with it, but it's a very high level standard. Even if that was true, then oh yeah, I have to make sure I don't use get deadly and strike through, which the reason why that's good is not because you're hitting face, but because you're hitting everything in the lane with the deadly. So that's actually not bad, but it's kind of expensive. Is this even the one? This is the one that I think he recommended. Why does it keep reversing? I feel like... Which is the one that I was using before? Because I've only used his and it's cucked me from playing the one that Astros recommended. Not that it's bad, but... Oh no, this is the same thing though. Why do I even have some of those cards in there then? I don't like this card, the 4... What the fuck? Maybe I fucked up and somehow... I wouldn't have put this in there. Now I'm confused. The mustache. Why the fuck would I have some of this stuff in here? I might have fucked up and somehow made them both the same. Zombies here are gravestones. This is so weird. Super Brains 2. I'm so confused. It has 2 of those and 1 of the mustache. Super Brains 1. Where's like my old shitty thing, style of play? I guess maybe I just have 1 of some of these, so this is still more along my lines, I guess. What we need to do here, I'm surprised why that's even in there. We will put this in here, I guess. Yeah, I don't see what this even does for me. When you play a zombie here, like, why does it matter? It's not going to be like a ramp deck. Like, it's just, you're going to get to turn 7 and you're just going to do it. Even having 3 Bad Moon Risings is dumb. But just because I want to play it so badly, or you know what, let's be a little more disciplined. That's fine. We can get rid of 1 of them, and again, it's not that you're relying on playing it multiple times. You just want to make sure you get it every game, which in a 40 card deck, even having 2 of them might not guarantee that. So I guess I'll do this. I'm not like a huge fan of it, but we'll definitely try to do that one. Yeah, this one almost doesn't seem like a deck that I made because it has all these weird cards that... But no, it must be the other one that he suggested. Like, this is not a card that's gonna do anything for you ever in your life because, at least in this style of play where I'm a little fast-paced, because it's just too slow of a card. I always make fun of people for that too. This one has Strike Through and Deadly. It is good for... You can clear like a whole lane very easily. But I guess the way that I'll do it here is... You're just more aggressive, so it just doesn't matter. And here you get something you already had. That's fine. The one card I barely even used is that stupid viral infection thing because, yes, it's good, but it's not really practical to use on a regular basis sometimes. Right, like the game's gonna have to drag on for fucking centuries and you're gonna almost have to deck out, so unless you really have a cohesive structure. That's the biggest thing about card quality. You have to judge it in the context of what you actually have. Like, you can't just say... You can't just say, oh, this card is good. You have to say this card is good if it has support or in this type of deck under this exact circumstance. So the best cards are going to be like that, whereas the worst cards are going to be... or not even the worst cards, but... you know, cards that have sort of consistent, constant value. They're good no matter what in terms of raw value. It's kind of like how you would do it in a draft, where you... in a draft, you would decide to say, well, I'm not going to go for stuff that has synergies because, you know, you're not going to be guaranteed to get all of them because the draft isn't up to you entirely. But in this case, you are able to consider that, like, you're not going to be guaranteed to get synergies in draft scenarios, or again, when I'm doing like a Nuzlocke style where it's not up to me what I'm getting and I'm relying on that alone. But that's the fallacy that sometimes people have, like, oh, this card is so good or this card is so bad, but it's only based on an environment. I guess I kind of... But how would I have known I was going to draw that? Okay, this is problematic. Make a 4-3. Why don't we do this one? The reason why I'm ignoring that one is because I want to use the Leafy synergy here. 2/1 clones. Okay, that's always a very good value. So yeah, that's like the measurement of raw inherent value that applies to every situation versus top-end value or synergistic value that only works sometimes. That didn't really work all that well for him. And then the other measure is like, in really good decks, it's not going to matter. And the reason why is because if your deck is really well constructed, you're going to always get the synergies, or most of the time, so then it doesn't matter as much. Now here what we can do is actually play this, unless what we get from that is going to be... Oh shit, it could actually be Transformative Fusion. But no, we can wait. I mean, I'm just going to die to this shit, but there's not much we can really do. Right, like I can't do anything. Alright, you kill that. You're going to hit him for 5. As long as I can withstand these. See, I don't question the fact that he has 3 of these in his deck at least. I question the fact that he got them all. Like, look at what a limited scope of his deck is. He's drawn both of those Captain Greybeard things. Deadbeard, whatever. He's drawn 3 of these. Like, what are the chances you get these all at the beginning of the game in that exact sequence? That seems very, very unlikely. Although he is leaving this out for way too long. You can do the Leafy synergy into Leafy. I hear you like Leafy, so I play a Leafy next to, you know, the exact same thing to get the same effect. Do like a chain of 4 of those all next to each other. 7 damage. Okay, that's not really a big deal. Yeah, that's like a fun gimmick where somebody was doing that with like the pumpkin or something, where it gives your opponent conjuration stuff. Even though it seems like a bad thing, it has a certain value to kind of make up for that. 6-1. Okay, it's gonna be like 6-13. 4 Magic Beanstalk. See, a card like that's not going to actually make any difference at all. The biggest concern is just if this dies. We're going kind of all in with that. But no, if he has a removal card for the 4-5, oh no, I'm dead anyway. I'm dead anyway because I couldn't have done anything. Fuck. Okay, that card is pretty good usually. So Yeah, like there's no way you can really play around the health value, right? Like, oh, just keep them at 1 HP so then they can't do it or something. So let's try to get our Bad Moon Rising play. I did play it once last time, but it was only because it was disappointing though. Like, we only had like 1 minion out there, so I should have double checked again. Is this actually the one that... I just want to use the one that I was using like before. I guess it must be because that 4/4 probably wouldn't have been in there. See, I'll even keep Bad Moon Rising just because. I'm not going to be craving it later and say, oh no, I didn't get it. So yeah, having 2 is obviously probably the optimal play, but I love that because it's like, I don't care. People are saying that with Dark Matter Dragon Fruit, ah ha ha, you should have 2 of them. Like, it's not up to me whether I have 2 of them or not. I got super fucking lucky and I happen to get 2. If you want to give me a 3rd game, I'll take it. Like, it's just... I'm not going to be picky under this circumstance. But no, the point is with my collection is I have very good cards, but I don't have the best synergy or cohesion. And the only way I can get that is by crafting or by getting lucky because to some extent you just can't control it. Now that's a dead turn play that you said, oh, I should have mulliganed that because then you might have gotten a 2 cost. But this is the kind of horrible turn that'll lose you the game single-handedly. Or yeah, just make a full conjuration deck where... Just make a 40 minion deck with only conjuration effects, which might not even be possible to do because there might not be that many in the game with either side. But if you were able to, or there should be a mode that lets you combine plant and zombie cards together into one. Like, you'll make a conjuration deck with every single thing. And you won't even have any tricks in there, so you'll rely on this to give you tricks or something like that. Right, so it'll be a full 40 minion only conjuration deck. I don't know how many of them actually give you tricks as opposed to just minions, though. Does a bonus attack. See, now you should almost play on the board and worry about the dinky shit here a little bit, but... Somehow, I'm just ignoring. You shouldn't really play like this because now I'm going to die before I get to play Bad Moon Rising. Right, if that is my win condition. But I'm playing like more in a board control sense, but not really. I'm playing more in an aggro sense. This is why playing Captain Combustible at the beginning is always a mistake. Because he gets you in the wrong state of mind. Oh, shit. Dude, look at how strong that would have been on the guy. On the 4 health phallic image guy. Whose name I never get. Right, whose attack is equal to its health. If you had done that there, imagine what would have happened. Right, that could be an OTK caliber play. We saw that by... We saw Repeat Moss do some crazy shit last time. Right, a disgusting act by Repeat Moss, but it was my opponent who did it to me, obviously. Of course, that's why I ignored it last turn, because I knew I was going to get that, even though I have no way of knowing that. So that's the only zombie legendary I've actually gotten that was actually from a pack. The other one was from like a... I mean, I guess everything is from a pack, but not a guaranteed one. The nurse was guaranteed, and I got it twice. I think at 2 different times. So as much as this is a free-to-play kind of run, in addition to the no crafting, it's also a case where... this can potentially be a bad thing too if you summon something bigger, so this will still get through, hit there, but no, it's like I have wasted a lot of... Oh shit, I have wasted a lot of shit on... Wait, why didn't he go right though? Move a zombie does bonus attack. I don't know. You could say, oh, that's the worst place for it to go still, and that would trigger people, but it was gonna die anyway, so I guess it's okay, but... We get double Bad Moon Rising. Or no, it's gonna die only now, but... Oh, you can go like that, and then you could do maybe the bonus attack itself, although stacking up minions would have probably made more sense here. See, now I'll be able to do Bad Moon Rising, but it won't be very good. Fuck. I should have probably just played a 2 cost, but I want to do the bonus attack to actually save this guy. And see, you might just win anyway, so you shouldn't be too obsessed with that. But the point is... What was I saying? It's the fact that... Oh yeah, even though it's a free-to-play run, I have wasted my gems on a lot of stupid stuff. Whether it be, I bought like 5 or 6 plus event cards. I've bought, oh shit, this is gonna be his OTK. Okay, get rid of that clown. We do have the block meter, or actually we don't have the block meter, fuck. Whoops. Wow. Even if I didn't do that though, what could I have done? Like, he's only 4 attack, right? So I couldn't have, I don't know. Fuck. Both of those were pretty close, so I get cocked on playing Bad Moon Rising yet again, because now I won't. Okay, okay. This is what can happen. Like, oh, here, I have Dark Matter Dragon Fruit, but it doesn't mean that... Yeah, look how competitive it starts off at the beginning of the season. This is the worst time to play. So by the end of the month, it becomes much easier, and then you can farm people out or something. Because see, even though it's low ranks, like, oh, you know... It addresses my criticism of... Even though it addresses my criticism of, oh, the ranks are always so mismatched. Like, I play a rank 50, a rank 20, or something crazy like that, right? Now it's like, oh, you're finally facing rank 5s and stuff. But these rank 5s are much better than the normal ones you would face. Because since it's the beginning of the month, you're able to basically... I never get to see that effect either. Because nobody's playing a gravestone this early. And by the time they do, you know, you have to play it in the middle of the game. That's like a psychic type Pokemon kind of appearance. Right, and that's obviously my favorite. Psychic and Ghost were my favorite 2 types. It was sad that I started playing Pokemon online, not the live, whatever the other one was called, just online trading card game, and it was like about to go offline right when I was playing it too. So I didn't get to have like the full experience. Although I probably wouldn't have played it for that long anyway, but... So here we are trying to basically... I am trying to play on the board because we're trying to get to the Dark Matter Dragon Fruit situation. But yeah, I like how much I trigger people with some of those plays, like the cowboy or something. Oh, I play it in the water. But... Obviously, the first time I didn't know even what its effect was. A lot of the time it just seems like it's going to trade in and die anyway, so... Okay, here's the mushroom guy that, again, I don't mind being able to use it on here. And it sort of supports the theme of being able to, It supports the theme of being able to punish them for playing tricks, which I'm all about that. Not the least of which could relate to, Dark Matter Dragon Fruit themselves. Like, it's not the fact that it's a 6 attack, not the fact of anything else. My favorite thing about him is just that he cucks the opponent from playing tricks. Really, this doesn't stop you, but it's... I'm more a fan of the ones that really increase the cost, but look how much damage that's actually doing. I'm probably just going to lose right now on the spot because I don't have any good removal for this. Like, even in the water, I'm fucked. I could kill these 2, but then I'm screwed on that. Oh, this would be worth it, though, because I didn't realize. That's going to be useless anyway. I was going to say I was going to do it, but then... This would seem okay, but it's not going to really work, so... I guess I'll still do it, but... It'll tank that, it'll kill these 2. This thing's useless, and this thing I can't really do anything about. The problem is the 3-1 will still get its damage in, though. See, like, he's sort of burnt out, so if I can last another turn or 2, I can absolutely still win. This is what mid-range is all about sometimes, although this still sounds more like control, like outlast them and hide in a gravestone. It won't save you, though, in the next turn from the same thing. Assuming that mine doesn't die. Oh shit, that'll actually trade into here too. This was one of the first cool interactions I did in the game, where I kept buffing the 3-peater and winning because of that and doing all these crazy values. It's weird, and I haven't been able to do it actually in a long time. Whether because I'm going against better players, although sometimes I don't see why that would matter, or I've just sort of given up trying to focus on it as much, and I try to just do the Dark Matter Dragon Fruit, but there were some really good interactions with that. So this is not really going to work. Okay, we can flip this guy back. I'll be fine with that. Just, we need to mitigate damage as much as I can. It's like I want to save that for the leafy thing, but or you know I should have done it. I should have done that, and then I could have done fuck. I should have done that, and then I could have done the other thing, like destroy it no matter what it was, probably. Okay, they're still out of mana or brains, but I'm not dead. But look how tight this gets, man. And then I'm not gonna have really any healing, so it's basically over. All you'd have to do is summon more things than I can answer. That'll trade in anyway, so that's not even useful. We're just gonna lose to the fucking fish by themselves, right? And there was mathematically nothing I could do, or I could try to summon it there, but then I'm gonna lose to something else. So, damn, we're getting farmed this episode. Kind of nuts. Right now, you can't even luck out on the block meter because the internal RNG can't give you that much. But there is some variance between that, which I hate. It should always be the same amount, or it should be always based on the value. Okay, so now we go to Super Brains, or I mean the Smash. So Super Brains one-up the Smash in terms of, normally I would always start with the Smash because I like him the most, and I still like him the most, but just to try to give myself a chance to do Badman Rising. Yeah, that's the only win we're gonna get is fucking... You know, the one thing I'll say is even if a lot of these are bots, which I would assume they would have to be, they're not actually that bad or unenjoyable to play against, whether because my collection is so bad or something. Although it's really not even that bad, but whatever. Like, they somehow, it flows a little better than bots in other games. But I wouldn't doubt that there are some. Because these queue times are outrageously fast, and you're still getting a good amount of variety of people to play against. You don't realize, like, you have to play one of the most popular card games in the world, like Magic the Gathering or Hearthstone, to realize how could PvZ fucking heroes in the year 2024 have faster queue times than those? It could be because those are restricted to regions, like, oh, you're playing in NA or whatever, you know, Europe servers, this and that. But even then, that seems like a bot play, but maybe not because you're just trying to help your curve a little bit. Okay, this is fine. Destroy one of their nuts or berries, which you could use on some very high cost thing if you really want it. Like, if they happen to summon a minion, let's consider that. This seems like a bot deck just based on how shitty that card is, but we'll do this. Frenzy, perfectly fine. There really is no meta with some of this, like, oh, the optimal lane to put this in is such and such. Like, how would you know? There's too many variables based on what they might have, based on what they're playing. Right, like, people might say there's some variable with that, but it's not really, you know, the lanes are so open-ended sometimes. Certainly when it comes to the ramp or the water, there might be some elements like that that make it more obvious, but in general, it is very open-ended, where it's hard to measure that. You don't know exactly what they have. You don't know really what's going to happen, so... But no, I'd love to hear that. Oh, the meta play is to put this in a different... always put this guy in the middle in turn 3 because of this. And, like, the people will try to explain it. Like some scientific fucking algorithm. Okay, we'll do that, I guess, just to trade. I don't really care. Like, I'm trying to play on the board heavy because then... You know, I always... A lot of these decks that I'm using, Bad Moon Rising now, Green Shadow with Dark Matter Dragon Fruit, and this guy, if I just get to the late game, I should win, but unless I'm going against a really strong control late game deck itself, but whereas mine is maybe not that strong. This could be... It's not really even necessary, though. Alright, so all 3 of these are pretty good for that. Combustible, Solar Flare, and Infinity are going to be more aggro, but this, the Smash, Super Brains, and Green Shadow are all going to be more defensive. Also, Wall Knight. The Raw Zombie I like in certain situations because it really throws them off. Like, whatever they were going to plan to do, I'm going to cuck them, even though it is a terrible value card compared to a lot of things. Brain Nana, especially. So you might question why not play this, but it's sort of a greedy play to play this because or in the water, I mean, I should still play on the board for board control, which again is always more so my style of play, but there are times in this game where I forget about that because I don't know, there's a temptation. I'm getting to the point now though where I should play it like that more, but there's a temptation like, oh, my collection's not that good, so I feel like I have to do that, otherwise I'm not going to win in the late game anyway. But against a deck like this, it doesn't seem to be an issue. In before they have some god level end game, even if their, you know, early game cards have been absolutely garbage. Okay, that's not too bad. I'll get rid of this though anyway. And the raw zombie is going to save me here. But no, it's a very fast-paced game, and so, you know, that has certain advantages that, I don't know, there's just something about it that's goes against some of the stereotypes, like, oh, I hate the auto battler mechanic, where it's like, right now I'm picking on free-to-play newbie players, but I mean, I do want to block that, so I don't even want to move anything really. What the fuck? I wanted to, you know, block and trade that in too, but yeah, they're completely burnt out. So if I can just deal with that 6-3, I would be fine. All zombies get +2/+2. This is not really the time for these type of plays though. And now you can bait that. I'm getting cucked by my own cards, like, because now he can bait it away and hit me for 6. Like, what the fuck? And the strike through would kill me. Maybe you could say it almost shouldn't be. No, but I mean, it makes sense. But there should be another mechanic that's like strike through, but it only hits the excess damage, like, or somehow he didn't do that though. Like, wait, why didn't it hunt though? What happened? I'm so confused. All right, we can heal, and they're in top deck mode, which is my favorite point of the game. So now if I top deck the nurses, I should win. Or if I top deck, again, it's not like I really have that much that is high-end top heavy, but my top decking should be better than theirs, I would assume. Okay. And again, you might say, oh, it's an expensive play, that's a waste, but at this stage in the game, it doesn't matter. So I'm just going to lose on the health factor. That's why the nurse is so important too. It's going to heal me. Okay, even that's good. You know, I don't even care about whether it's an optimal trade. Like, I just want to survive. So, like, you know, I'll play it here, but then I'm kind of playing with fire with that one. Or yeah, make a deck like that with everything with strike through and everything with bullseye, like, together, even though there probably aren't that many cards that have that. That is the biggest complaint with a lot of things in this game. Like, you know, oh, it's gonna be, you know, it would be cool to do this, but oh, they don't have it in the game because they just don't have enough cards, period. I'll just do it, fuck it. I'm sure a lot of this stuff must appear in PvZ too, because otherwise they just pulled it out of their fucking ass with the Battle for Neighborville or whatever, Garden Warfare, all these characters and stuff. Like, some of them make sense and are organic, but a lot of them are just random, especially the ones to do with the zombies. Like, oh shit, this could win him the game alone. Oh shit, we see that again. Oh, come on, man. Now we're getting clowned in my favorite phase of the game, top deck mode. It's just like some psychological thing where, like, oh yeah, both sides fight, you know, like in a war, like, oh, or whatever, right? Some anime epic battle, and they both use all their energy and reserves and abilities and resources, and now you're both in like desperation mode where you just have to kind of scrounge something together. I'm still gonna die. This is fucking ludicrous, man. Yeah, like, you're in total desperation mode. Like, you go in well planned with whatever, a whole bunch of weapons and armor and allies and things like this, and none of it matters because then it evens out and you both run out, and then you go into full just desperation, whatever, reactive mode, and then, you know, you battle it out in a different way. There's a good moment like that in the duel between Yugi and the Pharaoh at the end of Yu-Gi-Oh, where, like, you know, the Pharaoh plays the god cards, right? All three of them at once, and then Yugi somehow beats them with some Deus Ex Machina plot armor bullshit, right? With the stupid mechs or whatever he does. But then after that, they both burnt out of cards and everything, and so you think almost the duel is over. But then guess what? The Pharaoh top decks fucking Swift Gaia the Fierce Knight and can play it without tributing and stuff like that. So that's the phase that I'm talking about, like where they go full top deck mode, and it's fine because, you know, that's part of the game. So you go all out. You're not top decking because your decks are so bad, or at least because they're evenly matched, is why you're doing it. Like, they're both so good that they even each other out, and you're both playing so perfectly that that's what it'll ultimately come down to. Amphibious, this might actually be a worthy time to do that. I'm gonna play even more defensively than I normally do because I'm getting kind of destroyed. I keep, you know, I almost am getting in a position where I can win these games, but they're just kind of, I can't quite survive long enough here. I almost don't want to do the Spine Apple yet. I don't care even if that really dies, but you know what? I won't even worry about it. Go ahead, hit me with the 3, and that's gonna, even though I'm saying I'm playing more defensively. Look at this board that we're gonna have. On turn 3, we're gonna have, or turn 4, we're gonna have fucking, you know, we're gonna have a 2-3, a 2-6, a 2-9, and a 2-6. How else would you get that besides with this epic value of the nuts? Right? It's virtually impossible. That value is fucking insane, and there's not too many cards that really can deal with that. There'll be a couple cheap bowling ball type plays like the Rolling Stone, but even that would require several of them. Like, he's already feeling desperate. Okay, that's fine. It'll still trade into, or no, it won't. Okay, we still have a pretty good board. Sometimes having the Spine Apples is a bit superfluous, but it's not like it's a bad card on its own either. With 3 or less would be okay, I guess. I almost want to do the Conjuration, but let's just do that. Again, I'm already sort of burning out of cards, though, despite how good of an opening that was. You can kind of keep needling them with your nuts here. Just, you know, pinch them a little bit here and there. And so it's going to get them a little bit lower, sort of play at the block meter. Ironic that such a defensive character would be, you know, so adept at getting through this. Because that's what you're going to do. You're going to be doing smaller amounts of damage, so you'll get more hits in. You're not going to really kill them before you expire all 3 charges of the block meter. Although that seems to rarely happen, too. With, I don't know. This seems almost like a waste, but... Okay, Deadly, that didn't work out too well. Arguably, you could have said I should have done it the opposite, but I was expecting it to just be a raw attack value type of thing. Yeah, this is not the greatest encouragement to see that, oh, I could totally get to rank 50. I'm not saying I can't, but when you have such a tight window, it's hard to even get a rhythm too. Like, oh, I can only lose 1 game. Maybe I would lose the first game and then win 50 in a row with that same fucking hero, but... I wonder what my longest win streak actually has been in the series. This is why it's good to always have the VODs and everything saved, so like I could look back. It could have been like over multiple episodes. No, I guess not, because I would have stopped playing with them. Right, otherwise, like, Combustible has dominated a couple episodes. Maybe not back to back, but, you know, the entire episode will just be him because he never loses. So sometimes it happens like that. Charged Lord is cute, but it might be not the right time to do it. Some of these phrasings are always so amusing, like squash trick. Like, how many squash tricks are there really in the game? Some of them are so oddly specific. Dancing professional disco zombie, or like all these fucking, you know, almost tired labels. So this one is going to be not really worth it. But again, I'm not really going to get any immediate value from it. You play a Rue, gets +1/+1. Which doesn't even help me there, but... So, you know, they're almost at their last block meter, or I'm out of it, but they're going to die before that. So even a defensive-minded hero like this is still going to do that, where I'll still kill you before you get your 3rd block meter. Okay, this is going to save me, but... because I was going to be so burned out of cards otherwise. Transform into a copy of that plant. I almost don't want to do that, though. Let's just do this because I don't know what else is happening. Start of turn, conjure a root. I've never really used Star Sword that much. In fact, I just got him a little while ago. I've always seen him on the other side, and I've read creepypasta fucking paragraph stories about him. But, I mean, it always seems so easy. Like, all you have to do is just fucking kill him right now. Right, just use a basic removal, but everybody always struggles with that, or people have, like, fucking 4 of them in there. So now this should be where it makes note to copy, but it'll only happen once, so we may as well do it now and then do whatever I want. We don't actually have a team up capability though, do I? Okay, that is actually a nasty fucking play. Holy shit. Damn, I actually like this guy. Untrickable. Holy shit, there's no way you're gonna survive this. When played, conjure a root, gets +1/+1. Damn, yeah, I would love to have this guy, actually. Right? He's a Triassic Legendary, untrickable, 6 mana, 5/5. When played, conjure a root. Dino Roar gets +1/+1. Obviously, very synergistic even with the Star Sword. You might say, oh, that's why it gave it to you, but not really. It's just incidental. Right, not every root is going to have that, but I'm surprised I haven't seen that thing more, actually. It's so good. Am I actually going to die somehow? Holy shit. Give me the invincibility fucking hero power, superpower. Oh, that was a nasty final play. Holy shit. Yeah, I won that purely because of the meme lord himself. Right, otherwise, I was kind of getting burned out on cards and I might not have had a chance. Let's try to ride him out a little bit. See, now the other two I almost don't even want to play as, so I'll just go till I lose as Walnut. I don't even care about Infinity. I don't even care about Solar Flare. But I like to do this rotation still if I lose, just to... Pineapple is fine. That thing you don't really need. In fact, I think I rarely get value out of it. The 3 cost, he gives +2/+2 to the other ones next to it. Alright, so we get our little ice block that I was almost asking for the last game. Iron Border. Environment gets +1. Like, isn't that such a good value card? Like, this is a power creep bullshit type of thing. 1 mana, 2/3 with Bullseye with a bonus effect. Like, that's not a normal value kind of card. I don't know, just stuff like that is weird. It's just objectively better than most 1 cost in the game, regardless of synergy or anything else. So even with a game with so few cards, it still suffers from that issue of like, oh, well, some are just objectively better than others, so like, what's the point? Right, that's understandable when a game has been out for a long time, which I guess this has been, but when it's released like dozens and dozens of expansions, that's what starts to happen. You do want to kind of deal with this, or actually it might be more worth it just to do that. Conjure it, gets Bullseye, because this guy can be so fucking annoying. Or even that would be kind of cute, but let's just do that, it's okay. Right, it's not really a good value proposition though, because you should always look at removal like that. If I pay more for the removal than you paid for the minion, then it's not a good trade, right? It should be the same or it should be less. Like, if I use the squash, I shouldn't use it on something that costs less than 5, right? Because obviously it costs 5 or something like that. But I mean, that ends up happening all the time anyway. You might just not have a better play. You could do this and the Spine Apple would actually be pretty good. I sort of try to spread out my nuts a little more than just... sometimes, you know, you say, oh, why not use team up? But for the time being, at least, let it sort of overflow. Let your nuts overflow, and then you'll start to be able to double them up. Alright, this is a pretty good position to be in. Let's see, summon something that I can use this shit on here. But why would you even worry about that now? You're probably going to play it for the board. See, this deck could be so much better if you have some of those mid-game plays, but that's what I actually don't have. Right, what is my late-game strategy with this? And the answer is I don't really have one. Right, this is one of the best late-game cards I have, etc. So, you can still do this, I guess is fine. Use the invincibility, which I obviously don't want to do. Some of the death animations are pretty sick, actually. I should pay more attention to those. Mustache Monument. A zombie played on this as a bonus attack. This is more like an environment, though, than a minion. Like, what the fuck? What, it just comes to life and hits you? I guess that said everybody about a zombie ever. It comes to life and it hits you, but it's still weird to see some of these, like the Colosseum is like that. Why do those have attack values when they're supposed to be like fucking structures? You could do it there. I'm actually fine with doing that. I could have destroyed the gravestone. It's not like it's that big of a deal. Make a trapper territory. Okay. More like an online dating site, am I right? Get catfish. That's a real trapper territory. There's like this thing going around on Twitter and stuff where it's like this super realistic looking girl or a couple girls like taking selfies. So everybody's going crazy about that. I don't see why it's that surprising. I mean, okay, here we can do this guy over here. 6'8", kind of a worse version of that one guy that the guy played. Again, I never even process the name of cards because I don't really care. The big guy with Frenzy who gets one life. Oh, wow. Honestly, it's not the greatest time for him to play it, though, because his board is pretty empty. That can be a good finisher play, but in this case, we're just sort of outvaluing a rank 29, so clearly. Sometimes I do better against higher ranks than lower ranks. I don't get it. Maybe they underestimate me, or they have more of a... It's like fool's gold. They have more of a synergistic thing, so if it works, it's unbeatable, but it might not always work, whereas, again, what you're dealing with here is just more so raw value at times. Or it's weird how it says 0-3 now. Like... Why does it... Like, it is a 0 anyway, but... Why does this say 0, though? This isn't... Oh, no, it is. It normally... Is that a bug or what? You might just have simple removal for it, but... You're gonna have strike through anyway, but it's not gonna kill him. Okay, that's a very slow play. Not the right time to do it. But no, it's like if everything goes perfectly, their deck will be good, but it doesn't always go that way, so... Or it's made to, like, counter other decks, too. Like, oh, if you're playing a meta deck, it'll do good. But then you're not. You're just using random shit, so then they get thrown off, and they actually lose because of it. But, like, it's like in chess where, oh, that's not theory. That's not something I've studied over the course of my life, says a 2,000 player. And they're playing, like, a 1,500. It's like, they don't know what the hell they're doing, so don't use that as an excuse. Like, oh, haha, this is theory. Or this isn't theory. I don't know this. Like... You're the one who's 2,000 and studied the game, so you get sort of spoiled by that and say, well, I expect my studies to carry me, when really they're not going to. Okay, dude. Now we know why he's ranked 29, bro. Fuck off with that shit. I can use the squash, but I don't really like the way this is going. Like, I'm very much on pins and needles now because I can't do anything. That's what you might think. Oh, I still have a little bit of survivability, but if I don't kill him like right now, you're gonna keep seeing more shit like that, and I'm gonna lose. So like, you have to end it right fucking now. Right, I'm getting a little lucky too with I'm drawing these things right when I might need them. But yeah, Zombot is a disgusting fucking play. Just insane value. Like, it should have some limitation to it. When you conjure it from some other effect, right? It doesn't... when you conjure it from some other effect, like the transformation, it doesn't trigger, like, the battle cry effectively. You have to play out of your hand to get that effect. That would be fair. Or it can only hit stuff on the land, right? Not on the ramp, not on the water, stuff like that. But it's just like, fuck you, I just do everything. Or then it shouldn't be a 9-9, it should be a 7-7 or something as a concession for its effect. Like, it is the ultimate just middle finger fuck you card. This card is busted, fuck you, and just deal with it. Like, what the fuck, dude? 9 mana, 9-9, pretty good value, you know, that's what you'd expect from a normal card. And then, oh no, just destroy everything, and just, even if you get it from a conjuration, some other weird effect, not like a conjuration like into your hand, but whatever, some other transformation effect, because it doesn't even have to be, oh, the 8 cost it becomes a 9. It could just be some random thing, right? Summon a random zombie, and that happens to be the random zombie. But actually, this game isn't too bad with RNG. In fact, the one part of RNG that I hate the most is just the block meter itself. Not only just even the way the block meter works, period, which isn't really RNG, it's just a shit mechanic that everybody hates, but it's also the simple fact that you're able to do you know, you get different amounts. And at first I was speculating too, like, oh, it's based on how much damage you take, or it's based on some other circumstance, but it does just seem to be completely random. I don't think anybody really even confirmed that. People were even getting confused themselves and speculating, right, on exactly how it works. Are there even any zero cost cards in the game? I feel like I don't think there are, actually. It's like, oh, don't conjure something and then move too quickly, because oh no, you could have totally played that for 0 and it would have still done something. There are obviously ones that you can make 0 cost through other cost reduction means, but this is Celestial Custodian. When played in an environment, destroy a plant, more like Vegeta in Dragon Ball Super, because he ends up fucking cleaning up Beerus's shit, like doing whatever he says, because he's reduced to a wuss. An environment gets +1/+1. I don't know. That's fine. Like, in principle, you should make trades like this, but I'm being like overly defensive and cautious here. Everything is fine. That ghost is going to be a little hard to get rid of, though. I need one of those, whatever they're called in the fucking PvZ, the ones that kill everything in the water, the water mowers, basically. Because obviously this isn't going to work for what we have here. Go here, that's perfectly fine. Yeah, I have some of these cards that are pretty good, and people even say, oh yeah, Astrocato's so good, but it ends up not really being that good because, you know, it's okay, but I never get value from that. Like, I'm not going to be able to actually transform it. That's how most cards are. Like, oh, this has this cool effect that you'll never get to see or never get to use. Why? Because now I could put that actually in the water, but you'll never get to see the effect. And the reason why is because of the simple fact that, now, do I fear to use this? And the answer is I actually will take my chances and I won't do it, because I think I'm going to get the block meter. And in fact, I'll be guaranteed to get it here unless you remove something else too on top of that. Right, so the block meter will be guaranteed to save my dumbass. We can save ourselves again here, and then we can do it next turn. So I'm slow pacing the guy as he's in full top deck mode. This is the guy we just got. Right, so if you do it like that, yes, but really the way stuff like that works is you'll just force them to use a removal and go out of their way to do it. People don't actually concede that much in this game, or maybe a lot of the games are so close that you don't know that you're going to lose, but people don't seem as salty as in usual card games. I hate the fact that you can't emote. Every game has some sort of thing like that. What is this, Magic the Gathering Arena? Even though that still lets you do it to some degree. But no, these games have such an amount of personality that it's almost... I mean, these guys are always being very expressive when they're getting hit, when they're low on health, they're all scared and stuff. But you should be able to do certain voice lines or something. 0 out of 10. This mobile card game doesn't have good enough voice acting. Said everybody ever about Magic Arena. This is a pretty fucking early stream, too. Either I'm half asleep because I just woke up when I stream, or I'm half asleep because I'm about to go to bed. Those are my two times these days. And I was doing it for a while where I would do one stream before I woke, right when I woke up, and one right before, or like one right before I go to bed, and then one right when I wake up. And then I wouldn't do it again until like the next night. So even though I would stream every day, it'd be like, I would, you know, come home Monday night and stream, then wake up in the morning Tuesday and stream. Then I would go do what I have to do. Then I wouldn't stream again until Wednesday night. So it's just kind of like, I don't know, it's hard to explain, but it was a good way to get everything done so I can go somewhere else and do something else. So it's still that full commitment to doing it every single day. It's just like a little bit different. Or yesterday, I actually did a pretty reasonable length stream too, but I have to find a way to... Bro, lost to a fucking environment. Imagine that. Like, my removal's not even worth it for you. Now, this will be good even just on the Spine-Apple basis, right? So I'm going to make him just more of an annoyance than actually trying to bait out the effect. It's like, if you want to try to kill it, go ahead. If not, just deal with it then. Even as a 2/8. All plants on the ground get -1, -1. That obviously doesn't count for the effect, though. I like his whole vibe, but I don't know entirely how it's going to work. Okay, let's go like this. Go like this. You fill up the board, and then... See, you would expect with a deck like this, oh, you must have some really good payoff. Like, if you get to turn 7 or 8, you're going to have some god level play and some high... Let me actually look at that after I win this game, clearly. What are the high cost minions for Wall Knight that are going to be good? Because that's what you really need. This would be a good deck if you could do that. I need some super high cost minions, and if you have that, you can really punish them for lasting this long, because it's very easy for me to last to turn 6 and 7 plus with this deck. It just ends up not going anywhere, because then they'll outvalue me because they have really good late game cards. You could say Stars Lord kind of plays into that, but you know, again, all they would need is a simple removal card, which a lot of the time they do have. Oh shit. I mean, I guess that's not as simple of a way of doing it, but it's still fine. Even this has its limitations. In fact, this in some ways is a bad card because, again, it's only on the ground and it's going to destroy yours too. So that's a highly, severely limited card. Now he's going to bait and switch my dumbass with this because, you know, he's going to play something over it and fuck me. But, you know, strike through can be surprisingly a mid-range mechanic and not aggro, because sometimes, you know, you're doing it just to kill them, whatever. Oh, I'm just dead, or oh shit. But the reason why it can be good is because you're like playing on the board and trading everything in, but eventually you'll kind of chip in certain amounts of damage here and there, and you'll end up getting enough to get through. Don't poke the berry. That could be very dangerous, I guess. They always say that, like, in basketball, like, oh, don't poke the berry, you were talking trash. But I love that implication. Like, you're talking trash to, like, the other team's best player, and then they go crazy. It's like, oh, so you're trying to tell me if I didn't do that, they would have just lost and, you know, played like crap. So, okay, I'll be nice to you, then I'll suck up to you, and you'll play like garbage. You know, you would assume they're gonna play well anyway, or do their best anyway, but it's like being clutch. You know, oh, Michael Jordan's clutch because he hits a shot in the last 5 seconds. Okay, but he missed 5 shots in the first 4 minutes of the quarter or whatever. Like, why was he missing all those shots the rest of the game? Why should he make a shot? Why should he be trying harder to make a shot at the end of the game than at any other point in the game? It's like an absolutist philosophy. It could be the first quarter and the score is 0-0, right? So there's no stakes and it's not clutch time, but you should still be trying to make it, right? You should be making 100% of your shots, or you should be trying to. So that whole logic is stupid, because it's like, oh, it's clutch, it's this, it's that, but it doesn't matter because, oh shit. Are we getting cock blocked by nuts over here? This is what you call getting blue balled. We're getting too many nuts over here and not enough firepower. I need a nut that I can actually unload over this guy's face. Okay, so what we need to see is, let me see some of the higher cost stuff for his classes here. But no, that's the whole clutch fallacy. It's like, oh yeah, look at him hit the shot at the end of the game after he missed 5 shots in a row. It's like, you should have been trying to hit those, and if you did hit those, right, absolutist tendency, if you hit those 5 shots earlier, you'd be up by enough where you wouldn't need to hit the shot at the end of the game. So it is sort of window dressing in a bit of a way. So what are even his 2 classes? I don't even know what the other one is. It is Solar and Guardian. So again, what are some of the high cost things? This is Guardian. Like, this guy would be good. This guy would be good. 6 mana, 7/7. So at least, like, between those two, this guy can be a little bit annoying, but I forget exactly what it does. All plants and zombies attack using their health instead of attack. And of course we have Solar as well, which is going to be, you know, they don't have a ton of high cost things, but I guess nobody really does. You could have this thing, you could have this thing, you could have any of these. This is really annoying with the health value, so this one synergizes actually pretty well too. I'm not a big fan of healing. I'm not a big fan of healing or aggro, and Solar Flare encompasses both, so maybe that's why I hate her so much and always am making fun of her. We should try to get to that 300 mark, but hang on a second. Alright, so everybody's having a pretty rough time of it today besides Wall Knight. Let's see if he can get me to the 300 damage fucking bracket, which is, again, not even just from this episode, it's from last week too. Or maybe even before that too. It'll take me a month to do one daily quest or weekly quest, whatever it is. And I always have sort of argued against those type of things. Like, oh, it's just a way to sort of try to get you addicted to the game and make you log in every day just to do it or something. Insidious psychological conditioning. Not even in a pay-to-win sense, like, oh, it's to try to get you to buy stuff. It's just to try to get you to play the game every day and whatever. Like, MMOs would do that, like WoW and stuff. You know, just... You know, Daily Quest and Burning Crusade and stuff. It's just a way if you log in every day, and if you're paying for the whole month, you feel like, oh, I'm wasting my money unless I'm playing, and then you get addicted and whatever. So, it's not a good system to have. Right, and it sort of punishes you for just... You could play the same amount of time. I always say this, like, in a week, you could play, let's say somebody plays 12 hours a week of a game, right? Somebody plays 6 hours on Saturday and 6 hours on Sunday, and then they work the rest of the week so they don't have time. Versus somebody who plays, like, you know, 2 hours a day, whatever, like 14 hours a week, 7 hours on Saturday, 7 hours on Sunday. And then instead you, I guess it didn't really help me there, but it's fine. You know, somebody works from Monday through Friday, and then so they don't play at all, and they play 7 hours on Saturday, 7 hours on Sunday, so they play a total of 14 hours in the week. But the other person plays 2 hours a day every single day, so Monday through Monday, they play 2 hours every day guaranteed. Now they'll get the benefit of daily quests and login bonuses, whereas the person who plays the same amount of time in the week won't get them just because they don't log in every day, and they just have certain days where they're off and have more free time, and others where they don't. So that's what I don't like is, you know, you're still putting in the same amount of time and effort, but it's just not, you're kind of rewarding the wrong thing. And, you know, even these monthly card game rotations can be difficult. Like, oh, you have to get from rank 1 to legend in a month. Right, there could almost be a separate format that allows you to basically, or we'll even just do that to just go all in, but see, if I don't win with this board, I'm screwed. But no, it's like, you would, you're kind of rewarding the wrong thing, and what you're also doing is allowing yourself to... This guy is getting fucking out of control, but there's nothing that lets me do like a bonus attack in here, I don't think. 1 damage to everything. Or, you know, you could almost just move this and you're gonna get fucked. Oh, shit. You might still have some removal for it, but I kind of doubt it. Like, why wouldn't you have done it already? He's just desperate. What was I saying? Like... Yeah, you play the same amount of time, so you're getting rewarded for some other weird reason. Oh shit, this dude's actually killing it. Let's do one more then, regardless of outcome. So then we'll have enough to do the daily quest itself. I mean, he usually does okay, but this is a little exceptional, especially considering the competition we've been going against, because we've been getting destroyed on everybody else. Okay, 5. Oh shit, he's trying to make it easy for me, but technically that doesn't count because, you know, we have to still get the, or we'll end up playing the same people over and over, and they'll think I'm a try-hard pay-to-win clown who's able to, you know, you could just win trade like that because the game is so dead that you could just, you know, queue up at the same time and you'll match against the same person over and over like a friend. Right, but... You have to actually get the damage in to make this count. Now, I have a few too many 3 costs. That ends up not really being that good, but... Yeah, this is still a much more mid-curve. You need some of those higher cost cards. In fact, quite frankly, you need a lot of them to really make this work. And I've gotten so many of these bots, and not only in games probably, but in chat, where they keep saying... We had that happen like 3 times yesterday. I guess just when you stream for longer, they're going to do that, but... Or when they see you have very few viewers, but Okay, we can do something with this. You know, you can't be too afraid of letting the nuts take damage early. Like, just let it happen. That's what they're meant for. Even if you don't have a way to buff it right away, that's what team up is for. I would sometimes put this in the water at the beginning just because, oh, that's cool, and maybe I'll beat away with it at you later. But the reality is that you're not actually going to be able to do that because, you know, it could just be that it's popular like in China or something, but all the more reason why you think it might be bots. It might be one of the few games that's not banned in China because it's just a fun, innocent sort of vibe. Like, you know, games that deal with serious subjects can get banned for various reasons because it might have some allusion to real life. The mobile games are big in China for that reason, and they're also big for the simple fact that people are on public transportation for a long period of time. So the reason why mobile games are destroying gaming, and it's all the fault of Chinese public transportation. It's like, what? But it's technically a valid take. It's just, you know, it might not sound, and again, nobody's blaming people for being subject to that because the populations are so immense that you have to do that, and you have to live very far away from the city, where you go to work. But the reality is that doesn't even do anything for him, though. The reality is the simple fact that the effect of the mine doesn't even make sense in this context because they're hitting the mine from a distance halfway across the fucking field. So the mine should hit one of our minions, not one of theirs. It doesn't even make logical sense because everything is at a long range. But the point is that, yeah, Chinese public transportation system. Okay, we can do that, I guess. Is a big deal because you get to say that's why mobile games have exploded so much and that's where the priorities come from. But that's two things that China's ruined. Mists of Pandaria was made just to pander, like pandas, panda ring, I always say, to China and the Asian market. So you ruined a WoW expansion because of that, at least in premise, where they pulled that like basically out of their ass. And then obviously mobile games in general are a symptom of that because people are on public transportation for like 10 hours a day or whatever, like 3 hours a day. Because they have no other way to get to work and it's too crowded, so they have no choice but to live far away from the city. And so that's why they sit there and play their mobile games on their phone. Opinion on going viral? I don't dislike it, but I don't feel like my games last long enough for me to really get value out of it. I would either have to like support it with a lot of card draw or something, or I feel like it's only going to be good if the game drags out for a super long time. Or if they try to mill me out, which I've never really had that be an issue. Okay, we can do that one. This should be an easy win, actually. Damn, Wall Knight is actually killing it. See, I would just go on a 50-game win streak and get to rank 30 just right now if I had enough time, because he's just winning every single game so easily. After I just lost like 3 or 4 in a row with everybody else. But again, he has his limits because it's like a top-end value thing. If the game really drags out and if they have really good late-game cards, I can't deal with that. Which is kind of ironic to say maybe about a hero like this, because that's exactly what they should be good at, is making the game drag out and then, you know, winning in the late game. But I just don't have anything high cost. Right, imagine if I could use Dark Matter Dragon Fruit with this, then it'd be God level or anything else, like... What are some of my other high-cost plant stuff? I don't have too many, I guess. The Smash kind of perfectly exemplifies what my style of play is all about, actually. Like here, I might start making misplays because we're up by such a margin, but I guess I am in top deck mode too, so if I fuck up, it could be a problem. Yeah, it'll summon the 1/1 in the water and just let him fucking drown to death. Yeah, I did waste 500 gems on the ongoing viral when it was the event card, but I haven't really used it too much, and it seems better than what it is, I feel like, because... Okay, that's fine. No, but you still cucked me from doing the 20 the quest for the amount of damage that I need, right? So now I have to play another one. Damn it. Like, even if I'm winning games, I just won 2 in a row and did like no damage. The first guy just conceded right away, and the second guy Takes only like 2 damage. Damn it. Sometimes it's fool's gold to mulligan at 3 costs, because then you think, oh, you're gonna get something lower, but then you end up getting something higher. It's not really the greatest. Not that my curve is really that high anyway, but no, there should have totally been like a draft mode or something in this game too, like where you go in and there might be a mod that does it. But yeah, that's why we're gonna fail the challenge of getting rank 50 when I do it, is because we're gonna go against cheaters apparently. Just, they're saying that they have 40 copies of the same card or something. That would make going viral so good that just every card in your deck is that. But then again, it's not, because you would need minions still to support it. You know, I would compare it to like Jade Idol from Hearthstone, but it doesn't work exactly the same way because Jade Idol also summons something. Or I mean, that's all it does, but it summons something and then it can shuffle itself back into your deck 3 times over. So if you get to the end game, then it becomes god level because that's all you have and you can just keep cycling it forever, but it's not really that good. This is kind of stupid. I'd rather trade in than worry about that, but if I leave it too long, it's going to be a problem. The con man and that stupid guy in the closet, the guy coming out of the closet, whose name I forget, those two are so fucking annoying in the early game. Just because they're so hard to kill, too. That guy's like a 2-mana 1/5 or something. Okay, I'm already pretty low, so I'm kind of confused by how this, in a way that's a good thing, that it doesn't trigger the block meter, because then I'll absorb more damage from something else. This hand is just sort of fucked up. I won't even, oh shit, I didn't mean to do that. I was even gonna say I won't even take that much here. Come on, the point is I don't even care if I win the game. I want to just, or I guess I would have taken a bit more than I expected. I just want to win on the basis of doing the daily quest itself. I just beat a guy who was ranked 29 a little bit ago, so maybe it's the same guy. I can't tell because their name is Chinese characters. Wow, this whole game has been totally fucked up with the... I should just try to do the face damage then. But we still won't end up doing it because... Imagine making that play too. That's an inexplicable play except for the fact of... Obviously... just trying to get face value. Because even here it doesn't matter now. You're still going to get the strike through. No, everything was just on the wrong curve that I was getting. Okay, so we don't actually get the daily quest done, weekly quest, whatever, but that's fine. I don't feel like playing with Solar Flare or Infinity, so fuck it. Okay, see you tomorrow.